Hi everyone, my name is Jeff. The project we've got for you today is it's similar to strip construction, except it's using small strips of glass. It's a little tedious to make, but I think you'll enjoy the end result. Now the pattern has been inspired by something right in front of you, which is this jumper. I looked at it a little while back and I thought, I can do that. So stick around and I'll show you exactly how I did do it. Welcome to Rocket Rose Art. This project today, as I said, is based upon the strip construction method. It is made by using just small strips of glass to create a pattern. And while it's based upon this jumper, it's not exactly the same. Hang around, I think you're going to like this one because there is a little surprise part way through this video. When I fuse this up initially, you'll see something come out not quite as I expected, but I'm pleasantly surprised. Not a lot I can say about this. I've covered a lot of it in other videos to do with the strip construction. It's a little tedious in cutting all the strips, but eventually you get there. And like a lot of these projects, in the end, you'll be glad you did it. Now, if you're new to this channel and you like this video and you like to see more, please subscribe and turn on your notifications. If you've got any comments at all, please put them in the comment section below, and I'll try to answer any of your questions as best I can. So we'll get on with this video now. And of course, the very first thing is materials, equipment, and design. Okay, materials, equipment, and design. But before I go into all that, just for those who haven't been on my channel before, all the glass that I use here is Bullseye COE 90. When I'm fusing, I generally fuse on thin fire paper. When I'm slumping, I slump into boron nitride. The firing schedule, which is in the description below, if you're using some other COE, you'll need to adjust it. And don't forget, every kiln can fire quite differently. So the materials we're going to be using today are plain black, vanilla, which is 0137, and celadon green, which is 0207. This is all 3mm glass. Now, something I don't say enough of that I should, and that is, please pay attention to safety. When you're cutting glass, make sure you're wearing safety glasses. And when you're working with things like thin fire paper and other fibre paper, make sure you're wearing a mask. So what we're doing today is basically strip construction. It's a little different because normally in strip, or at least mostly in strip construction, you will cut long strips of glass and then you'll lay them all up in some pattern. Today we've got a lot of little strips of glass that we're going to lay up into a pattern, as you can guess here. And this is the pattern, if you can see that. Now this will be a long platter. Ignore that there, that was me working out my design. So this will be a long platter, and in the middle here there will be celadon green. This is going to be black, and up here is going to be the French vanilla. This is bigger than the final piece, but the final piece should be about 120 millimeters wide by 270 millimeters long. I have a cutting list, or I had a cutting list for myself. And oh, by the way, if in any of my projects you see a pattern that you'd like, please let me know if that's important to you, because I can make up a file of that, I think, and make it downloadable from my website, plus a cutting list. So please, in the comments, if enough of you think this is something that you would want, let me know, and I'll certainly be happy to do that. When it comes to cutting, I suggest you cut up a few more pieces than you actually need, because more than likely there'll be a few pieces in there that basically you'll want to replace with something else where they've chipped a bit too much or something like that. Even though I've got everything cut up here, I did do a little video of me cutting the Celadon green. So just to show you a couple of little things about cutting. The platter will be slumped into a mould, but it'll only be this mould here, which you've seen me use before, which is the one that I had made up for myself. It's just made up out of stainless steel, and it's a nice little slope. I'll just show you one of the techniques I use to cut all these strips. I don't cut long strips and then try and chop it up into the right lengths. In this case here for the Celadon, I need 16 pieces of 5 centimetre. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a strip 5 centimetres, turn it around, and then cut all the 6mm strips. I've rigged up a can't talk and concentrate at the same time. So I've rigged up another way to hold the camera. And it's in my face a little bit here, so it makes it just a little bit more awkward. There's a jigsaw puzzle for you. There's quite a few pieces, and as you can imagine, this is going to take a little while to put together. I'll try to video it, and obviously then we'll fast forward it. But depending upon how long it takes, maybe not all of it. Right, what you can see here is my setup for assembling this. As you can imagine, it takes a little bit of time and there are a lot of pieces. And the way I set it up is I've got the kiln shelf here and I've got it elevated at the back so it's leaning towards me. Couple of dams here, thin fire paper, and I'll just lay it up across there. Then when all that's done, I'll dam that up on that side, and then we'll full fuse it. I've got a little strip of thin fire paper up against this dam, and when it's all fused, I do expect the ends here will need to be cold worked before we go on to the next step. Okay, that took a little while. I got a little confused in the pattern here, which you may have noticed, but I think I've got it right now. I'll just put a bit of thin fire up here and dam up that side, and then we'll get it in the kiln for a full fuse. Before I go on, just something I have to say. If you're looking at the merchandise store that I've set up, don't buy this particular design at this time, because you can see on this badge the R isn't showing up too well. So I've got to fix that. So just a warning, don't buy anything with that design at the moment until I get that fixed. Okay, are you ready to see the result of fusing that all together? Ready? What do you think? I think it's fantastic. Yes, I know. It's wobbly on the top, isn't it? Oh, they're not nice and straight. They're all over the place. But turn it over. Guess what? Nice straight lines. Very, very happy with that one. Surprised a little bit, actually. All these lines. That's just French vanilla. And yes, I know French vanilla, when it fuses, you do get white parts. And that's what's happened. Where this is joined, everywhere it's joined, you can see there, I'll move this over, where the join is, the actual solid part has gone lighter in colour, but the join has stayed much more like the vanilla. So we've got these really nice design there. Can't say I've noticed that before, but that's probably because I haven't done large areas of vanilla just alone. It's usually interspersed with other colours. Very happy with that. Now I've got a decision, because that is going to be the top, and when we slump it, that'll be the top. The edges I actually don't mind, but I had planned on squaring them up, and I think I'll still do that. I'll square them up on my flat lap, because this is all very geometric and square. So I'll square those up and sandblast it and do a fire polish on it. So I'll do all of that, get it in the kiln, and tomorrow we'll have a finished piece ready for slumping. I have to say this is probably one of my favourite pieces, not because it's intricate or anything like that, but because it surprised me with these vanilla strips. So it keeps growing on me, and I keep thinking about other things I could do with it. Anyway, it's all nice and polished now, as you can see there. And there's a little imperfection up the top up there. I think something has fallen down off the elements in the kiln. But I'm not going to let that bother me. I'm now going to get this in a mould, and tomorrow morning we'll have a finished piece. Well, there's one thing you can say about glass fusing, and that is it's full of surprises, and they're not always good surprises, but this one was. Now, I did notice that when you hold up normal unfired French vanilla, it's translucent, so if you hold it up to the light, you can get that nice glow through it. If you hold this up, you can see where the joins are, it's retained that translucence, but the actual body of the strips has turned pretty much opaque white, or very close to white anyway. So that's very interesting. I'd like to know more about what reaction is going on there. Not quite sure where I can find that out, maybe through Bullseye themselves. Or if somebody at Bullseye is watching this, please let me know. Anyway, I enjoyed that. As I said, if you want that pattern and the sizes that I've used, let me know. I'll do up a PDF and make it available for download off of our website. Well, I hope that video helped in some way or other. It gave you some motivation and a little bit of inspiration. Give it a go. I think it's well worth the effort to cut up all those little strips of glass. Don't forget, a couple of suggested videos up there, and the subscribe button's right there, and turn on your notifications. Until the next video, I'll say bye for now.